there's this common idea that people say, for instance, a cup that there is water inside and it is halfway, and they ask you if the cup is half empty or half full. How many of us have come across such illustrations? Okay, you have seen it, ba? Okay. Who again has seen something like that? Great as AYB, have you seen anything like what I just illustrated? Alaga.
No, I'm not saying anything like that.
Okay. No, okay. Okay, so mostly it's a way of checking what your perspective is about life. And if you look at it, just imagine your cup of water, the one you used to drink every day. Water is inside it, and the water is halfway. And you look at it and you can decide which position you are going to take. That is, if you're pessimistic about life, you can say it is half empty, right? And if you're optimistic about life, you can say it is half full. So, pessimistic will say half empty in the sense that if care is not taken the way we are going, it will soon be fully empty. And the optimistics who say it is half full will look at it and say, if we can do more, it will soon be fully filled. But as good as that is, and as much as I like it, I'm starting to think that it's actually incomplete in that angle because there is so much to that than just being optimistic or pessimistic about life. And I want to say that if you come into the room and you meet the cup like that, halfway, then it's okay to say it is half full or half empty, and it can be said to be okay that whatever position you take concerning life in such a scenario is entirely your doing, and it's okay to have it like that. And then you walk around it to know how you sort yourself at the end of the day. But do you think that somebody who was there, who saw how that cup got to that state, how that water got halfway, do you think the person will just suddenly take any of those positions without further explanations?
I don't think so. Because people that saw the cup empty before and they knew what they did before they could even fill it up to half, they will not be pessimistic. They will rather be optimistic with nobody know to share, no to try. But people when we say they meet the cup full like that, I don't go be pessimistic. We all know cup to full tele, woman tell like that.
All right, thank you for that. Any other person saying something to that? Okay, so it tells something about us in general and about life which we should not overlook, either because of what majority is saying or because of what is rampant in our environment. Certain things just need context for them, one, to make sense, and secondly, for you to actually be able to take a position around it. So even after the context, you decide to now go against popular opinion, against what makes sense, literally, against what is evident, at least you will know what work is required for you to get desired outcome. And in a case where eventually turned out against your expectation, you will also be prepared to take on the consequences of your actions and decisions, right? So I'll put it this way. If you were in the room and you saw that initially the cup was actually empty, and then you filled it, or somebody filled it till that point, till it gets halfway, your position will not be that it is half empty. Your position will be that it is half filled or half full, right? And so, not only have you taken a position about the state of the cup, but also you have an idea, in fact, a knowledge of what needs to be done if you need it to be fully filled. If you're in the room and the cup was actually full before, and you were there when somebody poured away from it till it gets halfway, it won't matter the amount of English somebody is speaking to you. You know that this thing is half empty, not half full. Just with some old people till tomorrow, no amount of improvement you want to tell them Nigeria is making, they will tell you that they were there when 1 naira was greater than $1. When it's almost same price as £1, right? And how that jobs were waiting for them as they were finishing from school and stuff like that. So there's no amount of improvement you want to tell those people that you are making now as a country, that they will not tell you that's not what they used to know. Now, that is context. Either of the position you take, with that context, you have a better standing, a better clarity, and whatever position you take based on what you have seen is actually justified by that experience. And now, either you are optimistic and pessimistic, the context determines which position is most likely the best position for you to take based on what has happened. Now, your outlook to life now determines what you do from here, which is more than just a position of if it's half full or half empty, but a position of do I want to stay here to make it better, or do I want to go elsewhere to look for something better? But it's not exactly about cup and water. It's about you and I. It's about our lives. So, in the grand scheme of things, there are a lot of things that have taken place that happened in our absence. Just the way you couldn't choose the family you're coming from, you couldn't choose where you were to be born, you couldn't choose the country, the state, or even the town. So you couldn't choose the things you were fed with when you were young. You couldn't choose your environment. You couldn't choose how much your parents were going to have. You couldn't choose the things that you enjoy as kids because the provisions were not exactly within your control. So a lot of those things happened during our upcoming, and as a result of that, a lot of things were formed in us, including habits, characters, behaviors, even outlook to life, disposition to life, and a lot of many other things. So now at this point, the question is, having seen what you have seen, having experienced the things you've experienced, and now that you are in charge of your life, what are you going to do? What is it that you're going to do? And what you're going to do is going to be highly dependent on what you actually expect or want your life to be. Yep. Practically in the next 30 years, nobody here will be less than 50. And if that is true, it then says that by that time, a lot of things would have happened that would have created new context. And some of those happenings will no longer at that point be controllable because they have been written in stones, not by anybody but by our actions and decisions. So I'm saying today, now that you are aware and of knowledge of the things happening in your life and that you are in control of almost everything, what is your expectation of your life? And so the expectation of your life determines two things. First of all, what your disposition should be. That is, if you think your life is half full or half empty, if you're going to be pessimistic about your life or optimistic that nothing much is going to change in your life in the next 30 years, or in this time 30 years you would have become so great. You are not only known in Nigeria, you are known worldwide. And I'm not saying everybody is chasing that kind of awareness, but that your life would have become much of a legacy that many others look up to, or that you're just going to remain some random guys in one city or town there, enjoy your life with a pot of shisha. But then, this is a call. 30 years is actually a long time from here. What if we say in the next 2 years? What if we say in the next 5 years? What if we say in the next 10 years? Your outlook, your disposition, what is your expectation about your life and for your life? And so, if you have the expectation, you then know that there is a disposition that guarantees the expectation that you have. If you're not expecting anything much, you can just basically live anyhow. But if the expectation is much, if it's demanding, if you want to make a difference, you want to make a change, not necessarily the world, but even to your life, to what people are seeing, perceived, and even to what you experience now, then it becomes clear that your disposition will be at least a little different from what it is presently. Or if your disposition is on the right track or trajectory already, then if it's on the right trajectory already, then it may need to be amplified, exponentiated, if that's English, right? So, I'm saying, to a large extent, you have the context to your life already at this age. That is, at this point, you no longer can blame your dad, your mom, your environment. You no longer can blame nobody because it's all at this point within your control. If the environment is not okay, conducive, good, go to where the environment allows you to do what you want to do. If what you are doing presently is not giving you what you want to do, transition into what leads you to what you want to do. If the association you keep presently doesn't allow you to do what you want to do, and I'm not just saying this for those who want to do big things, that is, even if the association you have presently is also pushing you to become better than you want to be, you can still jump out of there and go to the association where they just allow you to be what you want to be. I'm simply saying that we have come to a point where we basically have nobody to blame. That it's so terrible that we cannot even blame God, right? And so I just thought to add context to that idea that always go around about your disposition about life, optimistic, pessimistic, because the context helps you to know where you really want to stand. If it's worth staying with or something deserving change, whatever you deem it fit to be, the action to make it be now lies with you. Alright, so it's not my intention to motivate you this morning. I was just going to add context to that to let you see that it's not exactly about blind optimism or blind pessimism. To everything that actually makes sense in life, there is always a context to it. And in completion of that, to everything that will also make sense, there must be a context to it. And that's where we all come in our life. That is, we don't just do that work for the sake of doing the work. Is it paying the bill? Is it giving us the satisfaction we look for? Is it helping us to become who we really want to be? And if that's not the case, then there comes the need for us to make an adjustment. So that's the context. How that makes sense this morning. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.